not going to be a popular opinion, but I think the Packers win the game. I think they cover the spread. I think they'll be able to run the ball on the Eagles. And this is going to be the toughest defense the Eagles have faced probably this year. So it's going to be a tough game for them, especially with the Packers coming off that loss to the Panthers. They're going to be really hungry.
He is our friend, the legendary Philly Godfather, joins us right now.
What's up, Dan?
How you doing, bro? How's it going? Man, what a week you had last week, huh?
Yeah, we killed it. We had a good weekend. We don't always win like that kind of insane rate, but we'll take it. I mean, it pays the bills. These NFL players, these basketball players, they don't pay our mortgage. They don't pay our rents. They don't pay our car payments. So we got to do extensive research. And you guys are the X and O guys. I mean, you know more about football than I'll ever know. But when it comes to the betting market, I know a couple things about that.
Hey, you think? I absolutely think you do. By the way, I've always said this about you guys. I may break down games. You put your wallet on the table each and every single week. And you're the guys putting the money on. That's why those guys, hey, I tell folks all the time, they don't build castles on the Vegas Strip because they lose.
They're using your money, and if you don't do the research, and it's okay if you treat it like entertainment. If you go to a concert, you spend $500 or $200 for a ticket, and you have a good time for 3 hours, and then your money's gone. That's okay if you bet $20 on a game. The problem is, when you're betting too many games and you're not doing your homework and you don't know the math behind the wagers, and the point spread's always a great equalizer. It's easy to say who's going to win, but can they cover the spread? That's the hard part.
Absolutely, it's covering the spread. All right, let's start it out here, and let's go Eagles and Packers. Hey, by the way, this game on Monday night looks like Green Bay is a 1.5 favorite, which may shock some people going into this game. It's 46.5. I'm not sure that that's going to be a lot of points scored. The weather's supposed to be flurries on Monday night, and it's supposed to be pretty cold going into that football game. I know we're in November already, but how do you like this game, and who do you see winning this ball game?
I mean, it's tough because if you look at the bet splits, it seems kind of easy for the Eagles to go over there and win that game. Right around 75% of early action is on Philly. So anytime the public's heavily on one side, I kind of just, start digging deeper to form an educated guess, on who's going to cover the spread here. The Eagles look good. I mean, they're 6-2. They got the best record in the NFC. But if you look at their point differential in the season, there's 4 teams with better point differentials, and the Packers just happen to be one of them. It's hard to argue with the success this team has had, but when you start digging, I mean, the Eagles rank outside the top 15 in both offensively and defensively, and yards per play and opponent yards per play. And they've been a little bit of lucky. Luck has helped them out. They're still, I think, 5th or 6th in luck ratio on the season. On the road, they're 3-1. Surprisingly, they lost to the Giants on the road. But if you look at those games, they beat who they beat? They beat the Vikings, the Buccaneers, and the Chiefs. But they won those games because, their opponents turned the ball over. The Vikings lost the turnover differential 2-0. Buccaneers lost it 2-0, and the Chiefs lost it 1-0. So they got a +5 turnover differential in those 3 road games. So they were a little lucky in those games. They also haven't faced a defense as good as the Packers on the road this season. They haven't faced a defense in the top 10 actually on the road this season. And the Packers are ranked, I think, second only behind the Broncos. And you saw the problem the Broncos gave the Eagles earlier in the season. So I kind of like it's not going to be a popular opinion, but I think the Packers win the game. I think they cover the spread. I think they'll be able to run the ball on the Eagles. And this is going to be the toughest defense the Eagles have faced probably this year. So it's going to be a tough game for them, especially with the Packers coming off that loss to the Panthers. They're going to be really hungry.
By the way, the Panthers aren't a slouch of a football team either now. They're 5-4 on the year. So they've obviously been one of the more improved teams. So you think this is maybe the best defense that the Eagles have played all year?
Yeah, it's them and the Broncos, but the best defense they've played on the road all season. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's get into the other games here. So Falcons and Colts, it's at home. Oh, excuse me. This is a Germany game. So this is the international game here. 48.5, 6.5 points the Falcons are getting. Are the Colts real? They're 7-2. I believe they had a loss this past week. Do you like them to turn the ship around and go to 8-2 on the season?
I mean, they're a good team. They're laying almost a touchdown in Germany. Those games are always wacky over there. Line opened up 7. It's down to 6.5. And like you said, the Colts are coming off that loss to the Steelers as 3-point favorites. Falcons actually almost had a chance to beat the Patriots last week. If they don't miss that field goal, game might have went to overtime. They were 5.5-point underdogs. So even though they're a little banged up, and unfortunately they're banged up again this week, heading into this game in Germany, their overall health score is I think it's like 12 points less than the Colts, so that's an issue. Their pass defense is really banged up, so Danny Jones should have a big day if you're looking to bet his over props and passing yards. But again, a touchdown, it's a lot of points in the NFL. Man, I guess the Colts at anything under a touchdown is probably the right side, but I'd rather put them in a teaser, get them down to basically a pick 'em. I think that's probably the safer way to play it. I think Jonathan Taylor has a big day because that Falcons run defense, I think they're ranked like 20th or 21st in opponent yards for rush attempts. So if you want to look at his over rushing props, I think he has a big day. But I think the best way to play it is maybe put him in a teaser, maybe like the Bills. You get the Bills down to -2.5, who's playing Miami, 7-point teaser, and you probably cash a ticket that way.
Do you think that you would have taken the points in the Colts if it was in Indy?
Yeah, no, definitely if it was in Indy. I mean, at home. But again, these games overseas are always wacky.
They are.
Falcons have played teams tough, man, and they've been banged up all year, and they still find a way to be very competitive.
Yep.
Last week, they almost shocked the Patriots.
Yep, absolutely. This game here is a freaky game here, and I'm going Ravens and Vikings, and I believe the Vikings are getting 3.5 in this ball game here, and you got a 3-5 Ravens team that's now starting to win some ball games. I mean, I saw a couple places where they got the Ravens winning the AFC North, and this is after being and having that horrific record of 2-5, and now they've won a couple games in a row. And you got this Vikings team that's still kind of hanging in there. They're 4-4. I think it's a defensive team mostly than anything else right now because of Brian Flores. It's in Minneapolis. Do the Ravens get to 4-5 on a year with this?
Well, I mean, both teams are healthy. Both pass defenses are really healthy. And you guys know I'm not a big fan of this Vikings team. I went under 9.5 wins before the season started. Even though I did bet them last week against the Lions, I just thought that was too many points. I'm not a big fan of the Vikings, and the bookmakers, they don't respect Minnesota either. I mean, they're making them a 4-point underdog at home after beating the Lions, which surprised me a little bit.
Yeah.
So they're not getting much respect in the sports betting market. I kind of like Baltimore here. There's some 3.5s out there if you want to buy the hook down to 3 or lay the 3.5. They look like they're back on track. They've won 2 games in a row by, I think, like an average of 18 points. So they're looking really healthy. They're looking like they've got their mojo back. And like you said, they might go on a nice run here. And you can probably lay like 45 cents or -150 on Baltimore to win their division. That might be a good bet because if you look at the teams remaining on their schedule, there's maybe like 2 tough games left. So they might run the table. Yeah, I like Baltimore here at -3, 3.5. I think they're the better team. And they're healthy finally.
So usually I wouldn't do this one either, but it's the Bills, and they go down to South Florida. You know, there was a garage sale down there. They got rid of Jalen Phillips. They didn't get rid of everybody down there, but would you take the Bills and the almost 10 points, 9.5? Would you take the Bills, or would you stick with the Dolphins at home? Because this is a game. I'm talking about point spread here now. Do you take the Dolphins and the 9.5?
I can't do it. Honestly, I think this game might get ugly. Miami's pass defense is like the third or I think the fourth most banged up of any team heading into Sunday. 10 points is a lot in the NFL, but we might see Josh Allen throw for like 300 yards here. Miami also has an issue. They love turning the ball over. I think they rank only behind the Jets. I think they're like in second to last place in turnover differential. So a couple of turnovers. That team's, I think they're done for the season. 9.5 seems like a lot of points, but I think Buffalo covers the spread, and you probably put them in teasers too. Tease them down to -2.5 in a 7-point teaser, and don't be surprised if they put up like 60 points here combined. I think this could be a blowout.
I won't bore you with Browns and Jets. We'll leave that alone here. How about this one here? Jags and Texans. I hear C.J. Stroud's not playing in this game. Yeah. The Jags could go to 6-3 on the season. But here's what the freaky point about this is. So no C.J. Stroud, but yet they're only getting a point?
I know, right?
In this ball game, Does that kind of nerve you there when you're only seeing at home? You know, you got the Jags who look like the better football team, but they're only getting a point.
It feels like Vegas is trying to reel you in.
Yeah, like really in here on this.
I mean, I'm not rushing to the window to invest in Davis Mills and the Texans here. I mean, if you look at what he did last week, I don't think the Texans offense scored a touchdown, and I think they punted like 6 straight times in the second half of that game. So he had an issue, on the offensive side, moving the ball down the field. Even though it was a close game, and if CJ would have played, I think they would have won that game, but he was knocked out early. But then again, I'm not eager to bet the Jags either as 1.5-point road favorites. The Texans got one of the best defenses in the NFL. This game's kind of tough to handicap. Both teams are a little banged up heading into Sunday. The Jags defense, they really have no pressure rate. They've had, they struggled getting pressure on opposing quarterbacks all year. I think they rank in like the bottom of the league in sacks per game. So offensively, both teams, not that great. 21st and 22nd in the yards per play metric. This is a tough game. I'm kind of leaning towards the Texans a little bit. They're hungry. They got 2 less wins on the season. It seems like every game now they're in playoff mode. It's do or die. If they lose another game, that might be it for the rest of the season. They're the hungrier team. I kind of like the Texans a little bit, plus 1.5 at home.
So let's go to this one here. Bucs are getting 2.5 at home. I got the pay. You know what? And I didn't know this. And I was on my Tampa show this morning, and I didn't know that the Bucs were underdogs in this ball game.
Yeah, I think they're
are they favored?
Yeah, they're 2.5-point favorite.
Okay, they're giving the Pats 2.5. Okay. So I said this. I go, I got New England winning this game. I think that now look, they may be getting Luke Gedeke back, the right tackle. They still don't have Bucky Irvin, and they still don't have Chris Godwin. He's not in this ball game here. They've lost Kalijah Kancey on their defensive line, and boy, this Patriots team has played really good football against really good football teams. Do you take the Pats going on the road to win this, or do you stick with the Bucs in this one?
It's a tough game to call because, like you said, the Patriots are a much healthier team. Drake May, he's played lights out. I think he's got the 3rd best odds still to win the MVP, which nobody would have guessed before the season started. It's tough. I mean, you're laying under a field goal with the Buccaneers, who've been very competitive, even though they've been banged up. And the Patriots, they win like 5 in a row, so they're going to be a little overvalued in the market here. Buccaneers defense is better than the Patriots. I think they rank 10 spots higher than the Patriots. They don't turn the ball over much. Oh, man. Buccaneers pass rush is probably the best the Patriots have faced all season.
Yep.
This one's tough to call. New England's offensive line isn't the best. I think they rank like 29th in the NFL in sacks allowed per game. I'm leaning towards Tampa Bay a little bit at minus 2.5, only because of that, Patriots offensive line. It's not the best, so it might give Drake May some problems this week.
This one here, the reason I'm going to bring this up, look, the Saints stink. There's no getting around it. However, it's the Panthers. And have they really figured out how to win? They go into that game against the Packers and beat them and BTA'd them, belt to ass. They just whooped them up there, man. I mean, and they're 5-4. It's at home. They're giving the Saints 5.5. Do you take the 5.5 and the Panthers in this one against that Saints team?
Well, like you just said, even though they beat the Packers and they beat them on the road, it's
at
just
Lambeau.
It's hard for me to lay 5.5 points on Carolina. It means they're going to have to probably win by a touchdown. So it's a lot of points for this team to lay. If you look at the turnover situation, they both had issues this year turning the ball over. Offensively, neither team is that good. I think they rank near the bottom of the NFL in yards per play metric, points scored per game. Defensively, I mean, you call it a wash, even though the Saints rank a few spots higher in opponent yards per play metric. And not to take anything away from Carolina, they've had a solid season so far.
Yeah.
But they rank 3rd in luck ratio, so the ball really has bounced their way a little bit. And what they won 4 of their last 5 or something like that. They play some pretty good football. But if the line gets to 6, I probably look to take the Saints +6. And I don't think there's going to be a lot of scoring here. Probably under 40 or under 30.5 on the total is probably a better way to bet it.
One of your favorite football teams that I'm still trying to figure out if you figured out yet, Bears and the Gigantes, the Giants.
Yeah.
They are giving the Giants 4.5. And if there's any football team that you have struggled with all year long by trying to figure who they are out, it's been the Bears.
Yeah.
Do the Bears go to 6-3?
And last week, I took the Bears last week, and then we were winning the whole game. Then I thought we were dead, and then they had a miraculous catch at the end, and we covered the spread. It was one of the wildest finishes, if you did bet on the Bears. I was starting to like this Giants team a little bit, but they're so banged up. It's just it's hard to bet on them. I mean, their offense is ranked in the basement of the NFL in like every stat. The Giants defense is ranked, I think, 27th in opponent yards per play. And over recent play over the last 3 games, it's been even worse. Bears can score, man. I think they're ranked 5th or 6th in scoring. They're ranked number 1 in turnover differential, and I think their defense leads the league in takeaways. I think they got like 19 or 20 takeaways on the season. So, they're ball hawks back there for that Bears defense. At home, if you lay 4 on the Bears, it's probably right side. Bears -4 is probably the right side.
So this one here, it's in Seattle. Boy, Seattle is playing great football, man. That receiver is on pace right now for 2K and to break Megatron's record for the all-time single-season mark for receiving yards. And I got to tell you, with the addition of Walter Nolan and the way that Jacoby Brissett played on Monday night, I know it's a short work week, but, and when you look at the point differential in the losses that the Cardinals have had this year, they've played pretty competitive football the entire year. This is one of those lines where you do this. The Cardinals' record really is not indicative of what kind of football team they are when they don't turn it over. And now they decided to go with Brissett, even though Kyler Murray's healthy in this game. But Seattle's just playing lights out football. Mike McDonald has done a great job. They're at home. One of the tougher places to play is up there in Seattle. Let me get the points again here. It's 6.5 that they're giving the Cardinals. Boy, I like the Cardinals in the 6.5 here.
I kind of agree with you, man. I think Brissett's might be an upgrade. I mean, he's thrown for like almost 900 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Yep.
And they haven't been playing, they played some good teams. They played the Colts, the Packers, and the Cowboys are half decent. So he's put up good numbers against some half decent teams, and you're getting almost 7 points. And like you said, Arizona's lost 5 games this year by an average of just 2.6 points.
Yeah.
And no loss has been by more than 4 points. And the last time these two teams played, I think Murray threw 2 interceptions, and they ended up losing 23-20 to Seattle. It's a division game. You're getting a touchdown. I'm with you, man. I kind of like Arizona +7 here. I think it's too many points.
It is. And we go to the toilet bowl known as Landover, Maryland, and Northwest Stadium, the worst stadium on the planet, according to the great Merrill Reese. Lions dropped a game last week, and I think you're getting the greatness of Marcus Mariota, who's going to be – and here's the best part of it. And this is what makes these games really hard for you, I would think. Okay, there's no doubt Lions, Commanders, you got the Lions in this game. But then they dropped that caveat of that 8.5 that the Commanders are getting. Do you feel confident enough that the Lions are going to go into Washington and cover that 8.5?
I mean, are we calling them the Commanders, Redskins? What are we
Redskins. I call them Redskins.
All right, the Redskins are the worst pass defense in the league. Maybe them and the Cowboys, right? The Lions score the second most points in the NFL. Detroit's coming off a loss. That's a dangerous combination for the Redskins. The total's 49. That feels kind of short. They might score 60, 70 points in this one. I think the Lions destroy them. It's kind of square because the whole world's going to be betting the Lions. I just don't see how how Washington competes in this football game, especially with the Lions coming off a loss. They're going to be upset. If you want to bet the Lions -8, 8.5, you want to put them in money line parlays with the Bills, put them in teasers. I think you're going to end up making money as long as you're on the Lions here. Yeah.
Take the Lions in the 8.5.
Yeah,
okay.
8.5, yeah.
All right. This is a good one here, too. This is Rams and 49ers, the late game. It's in Santa Clara, home of the Super Bowl this year. And, 49.5 points in this ball game. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the 49ers are getting, is it 4.5?
Yeah, anywhere from 4 to 4.5. Yep.
4.5 there. Rams are 6-2. And I'm going to tell you this. I think the Rams are the best team in the NFC.
I mean, they're pretty good.
I think Matthew Stafford's playing MVP football here. I don't think anybody in the league's playing better football at the quarterback position. And I think they have gotten better and better and better. Ever since that Eagle game, even, they've gotten better. Do they cover those points? Do you take that 4.5? And do you think they go in there? And by the way, McVay and Kyle Shanahan, that's always been a really good battle between these two guys. How do you like this one?
I mean, it's a divisional matchup. The home team's catching points. I'd normally look to take the underdog, but San Fran did win the first time around, and they were really lucky because, I think the Rams had 2 turnovers in that game. McVay had a couple brain cramps, made some bad decisions. But San Fran's just so banged up here. I think the Rams have like a plus 18 health score better than San Francisco going into this game. I like the Rams here -4. Revenge factor. I don't see them turning the ball over twice again like they did the first time. I think that was in week 4 or week 5. Going back to that game, the Rams had more total yards. But like I said, the 2 turnovers really cost them that game. I don't see that happening again. I don't see McVay having those brain cramps again like he did in that last game. I like the Rams here -4 in San Fran.
This is going to be a tell-me game. And tell me who the Steelers are and tell me who the Chargers are. I mean, I've seen the Chargers look incredibly great this year. And then I've seen also the Steelers not have a run game. Aaron Rodgers has really played some pretty damn good football. The Chargers are favored by 2.5 in this ball game here. I mean, it's in SoFi Stadium. I mean, who do you like here? I mean, Steelers are going to travel. There's going to be a great contingency at that stadium in Inglewood. I mean, but the Chargers, 1 week they look like this, then the Colts kicked their ass. It's 45-2 for the over-under. Do you think Aaron Rodgers goes in and wins this game, or is this a Herbert and Jim Harbaugh game?
It's going to be a close game. I mean, the line opened up 3.5. It's down to 2.5, so there's some sharp money on the Steelers right off the bat. They're coming off a big win over the Colts that we predicted last week. People thought we were crazy. I told you guys, bet them on the money line. They're going to beat the Colts. But they do have to travel cross country. The Steelers are a much healthier team. Chargers' offensive line is banged up. That kind of hurts them a little bit. You got 2 pretty good defenses. Kind of like the under 45 here. But if you grab, I guess, +3 or better on Pittsburgh, it's probably the right side. I mean, the Steelers rank 2nd in the NFL in turnover differential. The Chargers have struggled to protect the football this season, so they had issues turning the ball over. Chargers defense, not the best at stopping the run. So if Pittsburgh can establish a run game, control the clock, 2 good defensive teams, it probably comes down to a field goal. So if you get +3 on the Steelers in a coin flip game, it's probably the right side.
Let me take you to some college games. And I think there's a few of them. I don't think there's a ton of really great college matchups, but one of them is BYU and Texas Tech. Now, these 2 teams currently right now are playoff contending teams. I mean, number 7 BYU and number 8 Texas Tech. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Texas Tech is 10-point favorites in this ball game. It's 51.5. I mean, it's in Lubbock, Texas here. Boy, I mean, that's a lot of points for a team that throws the ball all over the yard. By the way, the young freshman or the freshman quarterback at BYU has been banged up, but I think he's going to play in this ball game. I mean, do you think Tech first wins, or do you think BYU covers the points here? Because that offense puts a lot of points up.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to slow that offense down. And if he's close to being 100%, it's going to be hard for Tech to cover that point spread. It's a lot of points against an offense like that. I haven't bet the game yet. I haven't researched it enough. But it just seems like a lot of points to me, laying 10 points against an offense like BYU's.
A&M is another team that's in the conversation for, a playoff spot. Right now, if the playoffs were to start, they're in it. This Missouri team has been in the conversation all year as being one of the better teams in the Southeastern Conference. And it's in Columbia, Missouri. So they're number 22. A&M is number 3. And if you could make the argument, too, that if you look at all the resumes with the top 5 teams in the country, Texas A&M has got the best resume, including Indiana and Ohio State. And if you look at it here, I mean, it's only 6.5 points A&M is favored by. So obviously, they're looking at this as being a pretty close football game here. How do you see this thing?
Like you said, they're flawless. They're 8-0. They got 2 impressive wins on the road too against Notre Dame and LSU. But I think this is going to be the best defense they've faced all season. Missouri's got a great defense, and it's on the road. Missouri's at home. Last time I checked, the entire world is already betting Texas A&M. Like they got the next day's newspaper. So that always bothers me if I'm looking to bet a side. Missouri's got a young kid at quarterback who's still behind, green behind the ears here, playing. Man, this is a tough one. Missouri has an elite defense. I mean, their pass defense is strong. Their run defense is strong. A&M turns the ball over a little too much. I mean, if they lose the turnover differential here, they probably don't cover the spread. I think they're ranked like 75th in turnover margin this season. Weak point for, A&M's got a good defense, but their run defense isn't the best. I think they're ranked 50th in opponent yards per rush attempt. So if Missouri can run the ball and limit the turnovers, I kind of like Missouri +7 here.
Yeah, I tell you, that's going to be a hell of a football game. And one last one here for you. And I picked the ones that are close because some of these games like Notre Dame Navy, that's 27.5. I mean, those things are almost impossible, especially with that unconventional offense that Navy runs. But this one here, Oregon and Iowa, and it's in Iowa City here. Number 9, Oregon, and number 20, Iowa. And what really kind of shocks me is Oregon's favored by 6.5 in this game.
Yeah.
And if you looked at the college football rankings, Iowa was given a lot of love by the college football rankings this past Tuesday. They're not ranked in the top 25 in the AP, but in the college playoff, they're up there high in the college playoff. They're still in the Big Ten race. My point is, that's a pretty good defense there. Oregon is one of the favorites to go on and play in the Final Four for the college football playoff. What says you on this game?
I mean, you got a low total. Total's 41.5. Oregon winning 6.5 on the road. I mean, Iowa lost, 20-15 to Indiana, and Indiana's average margin of victory this year is like 35 points. So this is a good football team. I think they lost to Iowa State by a field goal. They've only got 2 losses on the year. This is a team that's won 6 games. And you're giving me almost a touchdown at home. They got a strong offensive line. They're probably going to run the ball on Oregon, whose run defense isn't the best. Oh, I kind of like Iowa plus the points. I kind of like the dog here. I don't.
Me too, man. All right. One last one for you. 76ers. Xander just got a brand new hat. He's got a Sixer hat now, and he's parading around with a Sixer hat. All right. How good are these Sixers in your opinion? Where's the money on this Sixer team this year in the Eastern Conference? Where are the Sixers?
I mean, they started off 4-0, but now they're 5-3. Their point differential has dropped down to +4. I mean, there's probably 10 or 11 teams ahead of them with better odds to win the NBA championship. Can they sneak into playoffs? Maybe. But I'm not expecting them to do big things. I don't want to rain on Philly's parade here, but they still don't have the pieces compared to like some of the other teams, the Knicks, the Cavs, the Bucs, even the Pistons, and the Bulls are pretty good. I mean, surprisingly,
Billy Donovan has done a great job up there.
Yeah, and he was a great coach at Florida. I mean, he's just a great coach all around. It's still like a wait and see process with the Sixers team. Pump your brakes. Don't get too excited. And if they start playing some real efficient basketball, some smart basketball, well, then maybe you can, get a little hyped up. But as of right now, I mean, they're not doing nothing for me. Dan.
I want to know where Jalen Hurts is in the MVP race right now. Who are the top, in your opinion, who are the top guys right now? Where's Hurts? I think it's Stafford, Allen, might be Christian McCaffrey in that conversation. Where's Jalen Hurts in the conversation for MVP?
I mean, he's got to be up there, but you got guys like Josh Allen. You still got Mahomes. You got Stafford. You got Drake May, who's lighting it up. Those guys are probably all ahead of him. Even Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield are having better years. He's probably right there with like Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson. He's probably in that like third tier. But the first tier's got to be Josh Allen, Mahomes, Drake May, and Stafford, and then Darnold, and I guess you could throw Baker Mayfield. And when Baker gets all his weapons back, I mean,
Yeah.
very dangerous Tampa Bay team. And Justin Herbert, I mean, he's played some great football with a banged up offensive line. So I think he's like in the third tier with Jordan Love and guys like that.
That's right. Third tier quarterback. I like it. How has the book gone, my friend?
Everything's doing great. Our book tour is doing great. The college tour is doing great. We're setting something up so I can start going to talk at prisons to try and inspire these guys and motivate them when they do get released, that if they do the right things, good things can happen. And I'm a perfect example of that because I was in the worst prison, one of the worst prisons in America. And, you know, if you got faith in God and, you know, you got a strong family that loves you and you do the right thing and you work you're cool off, good things will happen. So you don't have to go back in there, man.
You got it. My friend, we will catch you next week. You're absolutely awesome. I love going over these games with you. Thank you so much, my friend.
Good luck, guys.